Hello there and welcome to a video on the No Useless Questions channel, but not really an episode of No Useless Questions. Instead, today's video celebrates everyone's favorite holiday, Star Wars Day. For those of you wondering, this video will be read out by a TTS voice because I've had a bad cold for the past few days, so I sound really weird and would probably be coughing or sneezing throughout recording, but I wanted to get this video done in time for the 4th of May. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. My earliest memories of Star Wars involve having already seen 5 of the films, so I've known Star Wars pretty much as far back as I can remember. So, to celebrate Star Wars, I thought about talking about some of the reasons I love these films, TV shows, books, etc. In doing that, I of course thought about my favorite characters. Obviously, everyone loves Obi-Wan Kenobi. Kanan Jarrus is another favorite of mine, and if we are talking legends, then Galen Marek in the Force Unleashed games was so fun to play as. But overall, my favorite has to be Admiral Ackbar. Master tactician, war hero, meme lord, and savior of the galaxy as a whole on more than one occasion. But then Rian Johnson goes and screws this all up. How can you give this absolute legend a lame as hell off-screen death, which no one reacts to in the slightest, and has no effect on anyone throughout the rest of the story? Sure, his son is kinda there in episode 9, a film that is its own problem to say the least, but he doesn't even do anything. So this video instead will be, why Vice Admiral Holdo's entire role in episode 8 should have gone to Admiral Ackbar. Is this a unique viewpoint? Far from it. From the fan-made edit to make this happen that you should 100% go and watch, to one of the men who played Ackbar himself agreeing with me, this is a very commonly held viewpoint. But I wanted to continue to output my nerd rage somewhere, whilst also never allowing this idea to die down because Admiral Ackbar deserved better. Just to start this off, I have nothing against anyone who likes the character of Vice Admiral Amilyn Holdo, and Laura Dern did an excellent job of portraying the character in my opinion. However, I think the character was unnecessary because we already had an existing character that could fulfill that role, with a greater emotional weight if they were to sacrifice themselves. Holdo's role in The Last Jedi was as an authority figure above Poe Dameron, who he rebels against because he thinks he knows better. By the end of the film, Holdo is used to further Poe's growth to show him the true responsibilities of leadership, as well as teaching him to respect authority and not always believe he knows better than everyone else. She then gets probably the coolest death in the entire Star Wars saga. The problem here is that throughout the film, the audience is made to think that we shouldn't trust Holdo, which is very easy to do as we've literally never heard of this woman before, yet we're supposed to have developed some connection with Poe as a character after The Force Awakens. Even by the end of the film, many people who watch it see no reason why Holdo was so secretive of her plans, despite the fact that she had every right not to tell Poe and he should have respected her authority. But when you've been framing someone as untrustworthy for 90% of the time we've seen a character, we're not gonna trust their actions now, are we? The solution? Have someone we trust and respect already be the one to shut Poe down, that way we can see both sides of the argument more objectively, and the respect for authority can be more genuinely felt by the audience. Because what we got from Holdo was 90% seeming like she might be a spy, and 10% sacrificing herself. And on her sacrifice, because we spent most of the time we knew her not trusting her, her death doesn't feel like that big of a loss. The audience on the whole developed no emotional connection with her, so her death didn't feel overly important. We came into the film with her playing no role, we weren't supposed to like her most of the time we knew her, then we leave the film without her playing much of a role going forward. Now swap Holdo out for Ackbar and so many of these problems disappear. We already know and respect Ackbar, so although we understand Poe's frustrations about not knowing the plan and could see why he is right, we also respect Ackbar enough to trust his judgment. So, when it turns out that Poe is in the wrong, the audience don't feel like they've been tricked into thinking the wrong decision entirely. Also, Ackbar sacrificing himself for the resistance has much more of an impact. This is a man we have seen fighting for freedom in many stories for over 30 years. A man whose loss means more to the viewer as he is without doubt a fan-favorite character. Even people who just know him as the It's a Trap guy would feel his loss more so than that of random purple hair lady. Now, could I be wrong about all this? Absolutely, this all comes from a place of pro-Ackbar bias. Does everyone who watches the Star Wars films know about the brilliance of Ackbar outside of being a meme? Of course not, though I will always recommend Chuck Wendig's Aftermath trilogy, where you see more of how great Ackbar is. So, if you disagree with me, feel free let me know what you think in the comments, because all of this is just my opinion, and I'm far from a storytelling expert. We'll be back to mixing in some science in upcoming videos. Until the next Star Wars Day, where I'll probably end up ranting about the rise of Skywalker in a video that would be much longer than this one.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 47.
It's a trap!